God doesn't answer our prayers the way we want him to answer them, and he will not do things the time we want him to do things. I'm going to put a story time of what I went through. And we go to school, we have these dreams that we have, and we already have their companies. They're going to school, but already their parents have fixed something for them. Or how I prayed and my prayers were not answered, and what happened in that season because of this. And then you have to settle for whatever comes your way. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's me again, Lishi. Thank you for watching again. For those who have been here, thank you for coming again. And for the new ones, thank you for stopping to watch my video. So in my previous video, I said we're going to talk about life after school, be it college, be it high school, or whatever school you're in. As a young person, let's talk about life after school. So when we go to school, we have these dreams that we have, and we're told when you pass, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna get this is how it's gonna be, and it's made to look like something very simple, I should say. But maybe let me say I'm talking to people who have probably had a similar experience to mine, or people who don't. There are people who already have their companies. They're going to school, but already their parents have fixed something for them, or they are low-key running businesses out there, but they're at school just for the certificate. Those are really not the people I'm talking to, because you guys have your life figured out. But I'm talking to people who entirely trust the school process, and you're just doing school and you're going to look for a job, the employment hustle, and all the things that really come with life after school. That's the group of people that I'm talking to. So today I wrote down my notes so that we can have a guideline. And so after school, sometimes you would have studied a certain degree or a certain course or whatever, and then you look for a job and you don't find it. And then you have to settle for whatever comes your way. Whether you like it or you don't like it, but because you want a certain income, sometimes you just have to settle for whatever comes. And it's okay, especially if you're in the country that I'm in. It's okay for you to settle for that, because honestly, it's hard for jobs to come around nowadays. It's a real hassle. So when you find something to do and you have to settle for that, I think really as a newbie out of college, you might have to settle for whatever comes your way. Some say you're now statistics of unemployment, which is partly true. So yeah, we do that. And then unemployment is a reality really for most people. So you can be out of school, truthfully, you can be out of school, you can be out of college or university and not get a job for years in this country. It happens. It happens. What I have to say is that you're not the only one who's going through that. Many people have gone through that. Many people are going through that. And it's not something that's easy. I should say, oh, you just have to accept it, because we have different responsibilities that we have in our different spaces, and we want to have jobs. We want to be employed so that we can at least cover certain bills that we have. So unemployment is a reality which we have to brace ourselves for while we're still at school. So if you're still at school, you know that you're going to learn, you're going to pass, you're going to do this and that. But leave space in your heart, in your mind, that there's a possibility that I might not get a job as soon as I want to get a job. So what happens after that? Okay? And then we have your dreams and your hopes. Like, you are hoping, I'm just going to go out of school, I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to do this. You have a whole list of things that you have written down. but those things don't happen the way you have planned, it somehow affects you as a person. The shattered dreams, that hope that you had that's no longer there, it hurts. I'll say it hurts. And so that's where we then have people going through depression because of that. Like, you're depressed because in your head you had built this whole big castle. This is what I'm gonna do, this is how it's gonna be like. You've broken it down to that, and it doesn't turn out the same way. So then you now go down the stress route, and we have many people who are then depressed, then doing drugs and so on, because now you're like, so what's next? I've passed, I've done this, but it's not working, and you have so many people to blame, and then you then resort to doing things like that, which is really not an option, because as I've said, this is low-key the reality of our life in our country. This is what's happening. I don't think it's only our country. I think there are so many other countries that are going through the same thing, but the way we then tackle it is then what becomes a problem. And then for those who pray, God doesn't answer our prayers the way we want him to answer them, and he will not do things the time we want him to do things. I'm going to put a story time of what I went through and how I prayed and my prayers were not answered, and what happened in that season because of this. So that's another video for another day. But we do pray, and sometimes our prayers are not answered the time we want them to be answered. And even if they are answered, we probably don't get what we're praying for. We get something less or more, but then as you live in that blessing, you then realize, no, you know what, God, you have granted me something greater than what I was even praying for. So there are people who pray for jobs and stuff, and it doesn't happen the time they pray, and you probably lose hope. It's normal, it happens, it really happens, and it's okay. But my word of advice to you is, really don't give up on God. Never give up on God. Like, things go south all the time, and he knows things are going south for all of us, but it's not like he's ignoring us, but he knows his perfect time to do what he has to do for us. So yeah, with that being said, really don't give up on God. Don't give up on faith. Don't give up on hope. Don't give up on prayer. Above all, keep talking to God. One day he's going to open things up for you. And then we also have pressure from our peers. Like, guys, when you just leave school, right, you have your friends, you have this clique that you were with, and then now you're starting life, and then you see someone, okay, it's always social media, guys. They're doing, for girls, it's always the frontals, they have their nails done, they're doing this, they're sitting in their office, you see them in food outlets, they're buying meals, they're taking pictures of this and this and this, and you can't do it yourself. But these are people that you were with in class, learning with, spending a lot of time with, and then you start asking yourself, manje mina ye, God, why me? Mina, I can't change my hair, I can't afford my frontals, I can't do my nails, I've never taken myself to a certain restaurant. Like, and these days, I'm at a restaurant are being opened left, right, and center, and people are trying new restaurants, and you're just like, what about me? You face such pressure after school, especially if you're not yet employed or if you don't have any source of income. Those are things that really happen. And then sometimes it's pressure from your family, guys. Your family can give you pressure. Like, how others are working, one has done this for her mom, they've done this and you can't do it. They've gone to a certain place, they're taking nice pictures, and you're not able to do that. And you have your cousins or your brothers doing certain things that you're not able to do. It's really a painful phase, I don't wanna lie. And sometimes, people just call you in random hours of the day and they're asking you to do tasks for them because they assume since you're not working, you don't have anything to do. Yep. So they can call you 1, they can call you 12. Hey, please go to town and get this for me and bring it over. I'm busy. They are busy, you are not, because in their head, since you're not working, you might as well run in errands for them. That's what family members do. That's what people do when they then assume, since you're not working, since you're not formally employed, then you're not working. So you have ample time to do what they want you to do, which is not always true. But that's a very depressing phase, because you're going this way, you're going that way, you're going that way, because they want things from you. And and again, if you say no, why are you saying no? Because you're not doing anything you're supposed to be doing. It's like, since you're not doing anything, you're supposed to be running errands for them. Yep, that happens. That's what family does sometimes. And then with that, you then begin to feel inferior to others. You draw away from them. Like, if they can do this and that, you then draw. There's a time where, when I started working, I really didn't tell many people that I'm now working. And then I heard one of my relatives coming to say, who said you should go and register, what? Like, so in the entire conversation, I took it that way. Probably they were not speaking of it that way, but I took it that way. So in their conversation, they spoke to each other and they said she's not working, and then they said she should just go and register that site. People are taking it. Why was I even part of your conversation? That's what I thought. Why? Because I was going through a lot at that time. In my head. I was like, so saying like, it didn't feel like they're helping me. It felt like they're mocking me. To me, I don't know how you think about it, but to me, again, that's going to be part of my story time. And then it's okay to have a source of income if you are able to make wigs. I made wigs, and really that helped me out. I was able to pay for my stuff and take myself out sometimes, buy myself clothes and stuff. So I taught myself to make wigs, self-taught, by the way. So I taught myself to make wigs and do people's hair and stuff, and I was able to do that. I'm going to paste a few pictures of my wigs there, so that you see the things that I've been doing. So I managed to start doing the wig business, because then I was not fully working, right? So I did the wig business, and that really helped me get some sort of income. I was able to do ABC. And I also started a food business at some point, and we did run for some time, and it helped me out also at that time. So yeah, such things happen. So if you have or if you have a plan of trying out a certain business before you get employed, do try that out, and you'll notice sometimes you end up being so comfortable in that business, and it will grow so much that you won't even have to get employed, you see. So give it a try. Really try it out, see if it works for you. Whilst you're applying for a job somewhere, at least it will be giving you those $5, $10, or whatever amount of money that you get from that, and you will really survive. I assure you. But some or whatever business you can try it out and see. It might work for you. And then also the last bit, I'd say it is staying at home. When you just stay at home, guys, you then start to overthink everything. Like what I was saying about me, you start to overthink everything. That also becomes a mental issue. It gives you a mental breakdown. You become very emotional. You become all those things, because then you're overthinking everything, and you're feeling like, at my big age, I can't buy a simple pack of sugar or salt to bring it home. I'm being fed. Like, you see, we should, okay, at least if I could contribute a certain amount of money, I would give my parents, I would give whoever we're going to do a bit of shopping, I would have contributed something. But then in that case, you can't do it, because then you're like, I'm not working, I'm not, So that also becomes an issue that really is so disturbing, especially when you're doing this life outside school thing, you see. So I would really encourage you guys to take time, man. Take time to go out. Just take a walk outside, clear your head, and I assure you, as you take a walk outside, you'll be clearing your head, and you'll also be thinking about things you can do. And also you'll see certain things, and you'll see what will I could actually try this out. It will fail or it will pass, but you would have tried it out. So being outside and linking with different people just to hear good and just make such good friendships, And also the last bit, now that I've mentioned friendships, I was not really that down, but it's really necessary to have encouraging friends. It's necessary to have encouraging. If you don't have encouraging friends, if you have friends who are going to shatter you guys, you'd rather not have friends at all. Because your friends should not be the ones rubbing it into your face, which, savings, you're not working, you're not this, you're not that. Your friends should be the ones to say, you've started a business. Okay, sell me 1 week. Let me advertise your weeks for you. Let me do this for you. Trying to push you as well. Would say, you have to get from that point to a certain point. So you really need really encouraging friends after school. You can get your other friends later when things have been put together. But you really need to have friends who are going to encourage you. When I was having my emotional breakdowns, I have my friend called Mandy. I would really go to Mandy and be like, Mandy, do you know they were doing this. And she told me, you know what? I was also unemployed at some point in my life. This is what happened. This is what they say to me. And, and it was really encouraging. Every time I was leaving Mandy after a conversation, I felt so refreshed. I felt so good. Like, she's the girl, So I've also put it upon myself, every time she's going through something, I have to be there for her. And I have to be an encouraging friend to her and to my other friends, any other friend of mine. So it is good, it is important to have encouraging friends, you people, so that you don't get to face life on your own like that. And you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know if this is all, if I've exhausted everything that happens after school. And yeah, I don't know if I've really exhausted everything that happens out of school, but if I haven't and I get more points, I'm really going to make another video about it. But then eventually you do get a job, you do start a business. It doesn't always end like that, I was just talking about the downside of it, the pressures that you face, the things that happen, the realities of it, and partly how you can overcome certain things. And I think knowing that you're not the only one facing that situation is a bit calming, and it is also a relief. I think that's what I think. So if there's anyone who is facing that situation, just know you're not alone. There's so many other people that are also facing the same situation. Just don't find yourself doing the wrong things. Don't find yourself drowning in drugs. Try to stay away from it. Depression, it's a very bad phase. Try to stay out of it. In that phase, you make a lot of bad decisions, guys. You make a lot of bad decisions. So try to keep yourself occupied, doing certain things, and praying, man, staying happy even in certain situations that are not so pleasant. So as I promised, I'm going to make a story time of myself in this situation that I've been talking about and how things turned out. I hope it will be an encouraging video as well to watch. But for today, I think our video ends here. And with that, thank you so much. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And meet you in our next video. Bye.